Welcome to the Fret Friends Podcast, a guitar and music podcast here to instruct, inform, and showcase. Fret Friends is a podcast from AP Guitar, a music tuition business established in 2012, which provide lessons, workshops, and courses to students all over the world. So here's your host, Adam Picard.
Yes, hello. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 4 of Fret Friends, the one where I gave you the chance to take over. A few weeks ago via Instagram, I asked you to give me some questions for me to answer on this very episode of the podcast. You kindly did, which is brilliant. As I was worried maybe I wouldn't get any questions. I've chosen the 4 that I like the most. So let's get into it. Question 1 from Kate in Australia. What are your top 3 tips for learning songs from start to finish? Great question. Tip 1. Learn the song section by section. Instead of trying to play the entire song from start to finish right away, you want to divide it into smaller, more digestible sections. So, for example, just the intro and then just the verse and so on, especially if there is a solo in the song. Focus on mastering each section at a time. Then, only then, work on the transitions between the sections. Once you're set with all of those transitions, put it all together. Remember, at least to start with, or if you're a beginner or even intermediates, you will have to work on each transition separately. Tip 2. Learn the parts slowed down. You can do this either by working with a metronome. Yes, I said it, metronome. Again. Or you can even slow down songs via YouTube, which is what I do. And it is better to be playing slower but rhythmically correct than to play faster and out of time. Once you're set with a tempo, your practice tempo, gradually increase the BPM. This basically prevents you from gaining bad habits, which we do not like. The main rules to remember when you find a guitar part tricky: the 3 S's: slow down, simplify, or shorten. Tip 3, listen to the song. I must say this at least 5 times a week with my students, but for those of you who are not a student of mine, half of learning how to play a song is actually knowing how it sounds in the first place. Remember, if you are new to guitar, you may be learning songs that you have heard for years as a non-musician. Now that you are a guitarist, you'll need to listen to the same songs, but with your guitar ears on now. Previous to playing guitar, you may have only listened to the vocals, or you listened to the vocals in the chorus because they were catchy, or the drum fill that heads into the chorus, but now you're listening to the guitar. Question 2 from Andrew in Wales. Which do you prefer, acoustic or electric, and why? Well, thank you for letting me indulge in speaking about myself, which doesn't sound like something I'd enjoy. Let me begin by saying that although both types of guitars have many similarities, and essentially if you can play one, then you can most certainly play the other one to an extent. The differences between them are what I personally enjoy. If you take the acoustic guitar, in my opinion, nothing sounds better than a nice acoustic guitar and you just strum an open E chord. That's how I test out acoustic guitars. Play the lowest open chord, or an E add 9, my new favorite. Let the body of the guitar do the work for you. Let it breathe. I also perform live fairly often, and I play acoustic guitar and I sing. So it complements my vocals extremely well, playing acoustic. You can hear yourself a little bit more, of course, as well, because the sound is coming from right in front of you. You get the slight there is the slight percussiveness that you can achieve with the acoustic guitar as well. Which, if you're not playing with a drummer, which, as I say, most of my performances are solo, then this helps me. Moving on to electric guitar. Electric guitar, I suppose, could be more, I'm going to say it could be more fun due to the many pedals and amps that I own. It's never ending in terms of being able to experiment with sounds. Saying that, I do use a pedal for the acoustic, the Boss VE8, which is wicked. You can loop on it and you can have effects on it as well. Anyway, back to electric guitar. Being able to easily bend strings to solo with, the sustain of notes, especially through an overdrive pedal. I'm actually a really big fan of fingerpicking on an electric guitar. I don't know how popular that is with people, but if you drown it in spring or plate reverb, incredible. You find incredible tones by blending pedals as well. Again, this all seems to be about the sound difference rather than the actual playing difference. So you can blend pedals, of course, experiment with pickup positions for different songs, different parts of solos. Look, overall, it's all good either way. I equally enjoy and require both in my life on a daily basis. So I hope that has answered your question. I think I sound a bit like a politician. I haven't really given an answer, but there is no answer. I can't sit here and say one. Question 3 from Alex in England. What are your thoughts on learning music theory and how much is enough? So, Alex and all listeners, up until around a year or two ago, I wouldn't teach music theory to students unless they expressed interest first, which quite often they did. I had previously tried it with students, cold, if you will, and although explaining the benefits of music theory to them, some of these students just wanted to learn songs. But of course, well, not of course, but in my opinion, you can only get so far this way. These days, I teach my students to become overall musicians as well as guitarists. I run listening exercises with each and every student. I run face-to-face workshops, music theory workshops, soon to be online too. With the listening exercises, the ear training exercises, which I do with all students, we test things, we do little games, mini games, like what type of chord am I playing? Are these chords all major? Are they all minor? Or if I do two separate chords, was it major chord first and a minor chord second? We do interval training. We play the same kind of game as the chord one, but with scales and arpeggios, many, many, many more. I'm not going to go through all of them, but students absolutely love it. It always seems to open up more questions as well about music theory, and they find it intriguing, and I find it exciting. You don't have to dive into modes. There's always something to learn about music theory which is relevant to the student and or what song they're learning. In answer to your how much is enough part of the question, I would say a good enough approach would be to know the sounds of chords, the sounds of scales, some intervals. You should learn about some chord progressions and time signatures. I think you should also at least own a copy or have a photo saved somewhere of the circle of fifths. Even if it's just there for now, just lurking. Question 4 from Eric in the US. how big of a fan of Elton John and Simon Cowell are you? Haha, very good. Eric and I know each other very well. So I will tell the rest of you right now that you've been listening to Season 1, Episode 3 of Fret Friends. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, then please give me a rating and review on whichever platform you're listening on, as it will help spread the word on my brand new podcast. My social media, at AP Guitar Guru on Instagram and TikTok, at AP Guitar TV on YouTube. My website for more information regarding my lessons, workshops and courses is www.apguitar.co.uk. My email address is contact@apguitar.co.uk, or you can send us a text using the link in the show notes. Everybody, thank you so much for listening again, and good luck with everything, and until next time, take care and stay safe.